Welcome back, everyone, to the Stay Introverted Podcast. I am your co-host, Jay Coleman.
And I'm your other co-host, Steph.
And as always, I want to say thank you for joining us on the podcasting journey. A year strong. Looking forward to many years more.
Yeah, I can't believe it's been a year. Crazy. I know we've been saying that for like 10 episodes or whatever.
Yes, next year is still going to be celebrating our 1 year anniversary.
Exactly.
Year two about celebration of the 1 year anniversary.
Exactly.
But in true introvert fashion, tangent. But let's get back on track and introduce our guest this week, the wonderful Brianna George. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me, guys. I'm excited.
Thank you for joining us.
We're so excited that you're here. So we were talking a little bit offline about like where you're from and all that. So why don't you quickly tell us where you're from and what you do and who you are, all the fun stuff.
Sure. Okay. Well, my name's Brianna. I grew up in northeastern Ohio, Cleveland area. I lived there till I was 18, and then I moved to Columbus, Ohio to attend the Ohio State University, where my educational background is in psychology. I lived there for about 12 years, and then about 10 years ago, I moved to Middle Tennessee in Clarksville, which is like just above Nashville. And I've been here for about 10 years this past summer, and it's been a wild ride. It's a wild ride. Yeah.
Wow.
So I teach at a public school, virtual school. That's what I do for money. For like, to have a living and be able to live. But I also started a coaching business. I've written some books. I do speaking events. Like I kind of do a lot of different things, and I'm trying to move more that way to be able to make that a more lucrative career choice for myself. Yeah.
I love that.
Awesome. Yes, because people don't teach for the money, which is
right. Definitely not for the money.
No, definitely not for the money. Like, yeah.
Right.
They have real bills, but they don't teach for the money.
Right. Real bills. Monopoly money, apparently. I don't know.
Apparently. But I have a question. You said you went to OSU. I guess people really get upset if you don't say the Ohio University?
No, I wouldn't say upset, but the reason why it's so enunciated oftentimes is there's Ohio University, which is in Athens, Ohio, and then there's Ohio State University, which is in Columbus, Ohio. And so if you're from Ohio and you go to Ohio State, a lot of times people are like, oh, OU, yeah, I know someone there. And you go, no, the Ohio State University, because so it's like, that's what people do. And then it's just a thing. Like people are funny. I used to have a hat that just said "the" on it with a Buckeye on it, just because it's like such a funny thing, But yeah, that's why it is more pronounced a lot of times, especially by alumni. So
okay, fair enough.
That's so funny.
Again, I'm a big college football fan, so I obviously OSU was typically in the mix for playoffs and whatnot. But every time I hear someone say Ohio State, it's the Ohio State. It's like five guys just jumping. It's like, no, it's the Ohio State. And I'm
absolutely.
Like, really?
It's absolutely.
It gets so wild. And it's like the only other school that I've heard does that I think is American University.
Yeah.
And they get like even more intensive than OSU. It's like, no, it's the American University. I'm like, okay, yeah. Chad, chill. Jesus, Chad.
Exactly. Poor Chad.
Poor Chad. It's always a Chad.
It's always a Chad and always a Karen.
Always. Chad and Brad. Just, I don't know.
That's so funny.
Absolutely.
So, Brianna, what made you move to Tennessee?
That's a really long story, but the shortest version of it is at the time, we felt like I was married at the time, and we felt like God just told us to move there, it was really crazy. it was a really bad winter. It was Ohio. So, snow.
Yeah.
And
I went
awful.
to Penn State, so I hear you.
Yes.
It's
Another polar vortex. I was just done.
Yeah.
And the potholes, by the time the winter is over, or like getting over, that March, April time, it's like winter's not really over if you live in the Northeast.
It's supposed to be, but it's not.
Right. And then you have all the potholes. And I just remember all winter long, it was so cold and the cold just hurts my body so much. And I just was joking around and saying, that's it. We're moving south. Like, we're moving where it's warm. Like, I'm so done with this. And one time in particular, like, we got a blizzard or something, like, in April, like the middle of April after Easter. Like, it was ridiculous. And we're driving down the road and there's ice all over the road and it was ridiculous. And I hit this pothole so hard and I was so cold that my body just like froze and I hurt so bad. And I just said, that's it. We're moving south. And like, I said it with this conviction that was not me saying it. Like, it was a declarative, like, we're doing it. And then my husband, we talked about it and we started flirting with the idea. And then like weird things started happening where like a memory came up for me. I went to Nashville once when I was 12 with my family. My aunt and my uncle lived in Charlotte, North Carolina. My grandparents lived in Florida and we lived in Ohio. And we all met in Nashville for like a little family vacation. And it was amazing. And I loved it so much. I have my background's in music. And so I was really into it. And I remember we were at this Shoney's that's right across from the Opryland Hotel. And Opryland, the amusement park, used to be behind the hotel. And the last day of our trip, we're at the Shoney's because we stayed in the hotel that was like across the way. And my dad turns to everybody. We're all about to leave to go home. And he's like, so what do you guys think? Nashville, nice place to visit, but I don't think I'd want to live here. What about you guys? And everybody in my family was like, no way. Like, it's nice to visit when they're, and I sat there and I was just really quiet. And I said, you know what? I would love to live here. This is such a cool city. And there's so many neat things and the culture's so cool. And I hadn't thought about that until like, it just randomly popped in my head and I shared it with my husband and he, had like this list of places he wanted to move to before he met me, and Nashville was on the list. And then like just weird things started happening, and before we knew it, like a month later, we were moving to Nashville. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I love that so much.
Yeah,
awesome.
And that's so funny that you just said that story because the girls that I went to Nashville with, so it was really weird. We went a group of 4 of us, and then my sister randomly happened to be there the same weekend with her friends. For like, there was no planning. It was a super last minute trip for everybody. But out of all the girls that I went with, they were all like, nice to visit, wouldn't live here. And all of my sister's girlfriends were like, oh, nice to visit, wouldn't live here.
Right.
Me and my sister are the only 2 that were like, would move here tomorrow. Like, I love it here.
Yeah.
So it's so funny. I don't know. I feel like it's either you love it and would live there or you wouldn't.
Totally. Nashville is one of those cities where either you love it or you hate it. I think New York City is kind of like that too. Like either you love the hustle and the bustle and the atmosphere and the lights and like all the things, or you're just like, no, no.
Yeah, I would agree.
Or you're one of those people who like me is like, no, but you just don't leave. I'm so done, but I'm gonna be here forever.
Yeah. Next month, Steph will be moving to Nashville.
Yeah, exactly. I'll hit you up. Jay, have you ever been?
I have not been to Nashville. It is definitely on my list of places that I want to visit. Speaking of Nashville, I do have a very important question. Not just for me, but for our audience. I've been asked to ask you this. Where I haven't, but I'm gonna say I did. Where is the best place to get Nashville hot chicken?
Oh yes, Nashville hot chicken is oh gosh, I can think BB's hot chicken. I think it's called BB's. BB's hot chicken.
We went to Hattie B's.
Oh, Hattie B's. That's it. Yep, Hattie B's.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yep, Hattie B's is the best place. It's the original. There's actually one in the Nashville airport because they are very serious about Nashville hot chicken. So,
nice.
yeah, best place.
Good.
Awesome. Like I've had Nashville hot chicken, but obviously people say
No, you haven't.
Exactly. People say it is. They just pour some sauce on. Like that's
Right.
okay. That's not exactly it, but okay.
That's like going to Florida and them saying, "Oh, we have New York bagels." No, you don't.
Right.
No, you don't.
Exactly.
Florida is a very interesting place because you're right, Steph. Like we have New York bagels, but they also have New York Chinese food, which always kind of threw.
Oh God!
It always kind of threw me. It's just like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Authentic New York Chinese food. Okay. I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna try it anyway because I'm here.
Right, and it's not New York Chinese food, by the way.
It's fine. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just called Chinese food, but hey,
yeah,
that's
so funny.
Yeah, Hattie B's. I must visit.
Yes, you should definitely
Will. So we were also talking before we hopped on about our feelings about Walmart. Totally unrelated to anything. But I just feel it's
I didn't know where you were going with that.
Yes, I feel it's keeping in the spirit of the podcast to talk about these things. So
yeah.
Walmart. How do you feel about Walmart?
I hate Walmart. I'm just going to be honest. Unfortunately, so I live in Clarksville, Tennessee, okay? And that is the home of the 101st Airborne Division of the Army, right? And so they have, I don't know why, but apparently there's always a lot of Walmarts around military bases in larger cities. And so we have, I'm not even joking, probably like 8 or 9 Walmarts in our various, there's the green Walmart where it's just like a grocery store. And then there's the big Walmart and then there's Super Walmart. And I hate it. I hate Walmart. I'm a Target girl, but we have a very sad Target. And so I don't get to go to Target very often. And Walmart is closest to us. And so I go there and I don't like it.
Oh my God. What is a super Walmart? Because I feel like Walmart
just has more shitty things that you don't need and lots of extra people and longer lines.
Oh God.
Super Walmart just sells like you said, a lot more of the things you probably don't need. And I guess it's regional because depending on where you live, you can either get a casket or a gun.
Walmart. Everything at Walmart. It's crazy.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Like from the cradle to the grave, Walmart got you. That's super Walmart. But yeah, like when I was living in California, there were probably, I think I lived within 3 miles of probably 3 or 4 Walmarts, and then I knew of probably like 4 or 5 more within 10, 20 miles, and
wow.
I didn't know that there were various flavors of Walmart. There was like the regular Walmart, then the super Walmart, then like this thing called Neighborhood Market, which
is weird. Walmart. Yeah, that we call Walmart.
Okay. Yeah, which is like, it has some of the stuff, but it's kind of hit or miss whether it has the stuff that you want. So you might end up going to 2 Walmarts. But
now the real problem store in Tennessee is the Dollar General. Have you guys ever heard of the Dollar General?
Yeah, I think we have them in New York.
Oh my gosh. Like, no joke. There are 2 Dollar Generals within a mile of my house. Not even joking. You go a mile this way and there's a Dollar General, or a half mile this way, there's Dollar General. You go a half mile this way, there's Dollar General. They're everywhere.
That's so wild.
And if there's a field somewhere, guess what's going there? A Dollar General. Like, it's just crazy. Like, how many things do you need that cost $1? And it's not even $1.
Right.
That's the crazy thing.
Right.
Like, it's not $1. Everything's super expensive at the Dollar General. I don't know.
Right. They really focus on that general part. It's generally $1 or more.
Right. Exactly.
That's so funny.
I've actually never been to any of those stores. Dollar General, Family Dollar. I'm sure there's
not missing much.
Are they all related?
I think 2 of them may be like part of the same company, but I'm not sure.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
You guys, this is probably an unpopular opinion, but you guys are actually making me miss Walmart because I haven't been to one since I went to Penn State.
Yeah.
There was a huge one in Penn State and it was great. I would go there, would get all of our beer, I would get all of our food. I love how beer comes first in that equation, but priorities. Exactly. And, it was so convenient, but we don't have that here in
Well,
New
if you
York.
come to
So
Nashville, I'll take you to a Walmart. How about that?
Awesome. Sounds good.
Broadway, we'll go to Walmart.
National landmark in Tennessee with the Walmart.
Oh my God. I'm surprised it's not a landmark of some state.
It needs to be. But I think the thing, and, maybe it's just me, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like a big reason Walmart has the rep that it has is because, one, these things are massive, which attract so many people. But also, it's like you get your stuff, maybe you luck out and you find everything that you need and it's at a decent price. But then you get ready to check out and there's 45 lanes of cash machines and like 5 cashiers. And everybody has their cart filled to the brim with stuff, and then maybe you have the self checkout, but the self checkout only has like 3 or 4 kiosk things, and it's always the people who have no business using this technology that want to stand there and unload, or bring up everything in their cart. And then you have the people here who's supposed to help who have no idea how to help. So it's just one big clusterfuck. And
yes, totally.
It just makes you run the full gamut of emotions. And I just don't feel like Walmart is a place where you should be like contemplating life decisions. I don't think that's what it's for.
Well, me, because I always have to check myself out. Like today, that's where I was before I came here. I told you, Jay, before we started that I was afraid I was going to be late because I got stuck at Walmart and like my cart was overflowing because I had like pillows and salads and I had a TV and kitchen towels.
Wow.
Yeah, because, I'm moving into an RV to live in an RV full time.
Oh, I have to ask you about this. Yeah.
And so I needed all the things. And so like, okay, I'm going to do this in a half an hour. I don't know what I was thinking. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. I just like,
you're a brave woman.
I gotta go. But yeah, so you're exactly right. But they should pay me. I always have to check myself out. So
last thing about Walmart, I will say during the pandemic, I think the people as a whole managed to get some get back because there are so many people because everybody had to be so spread apart and had to wear masks. You had so many people ringing up TVs as grapes. It was awesome. But that's
that's wild. Good for them, I guess. If they got away from it.
It's true. Like I've never seen such big grapes in my life, but hey, good for you, homie.
Wow. Or expensive grapes. And I bet like the employees couldn't really come close because of social distancing, so it's not like anybody could do anything about it.
Yeah, they couldn't. Then like in California,
that's wild.
In California, I think they like changed the law where like they weren't really coming after you for like shoplifting up to a certain amount.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you add that plus COVID. Hey,
wow,
outfit, you can furnish your entire house for $10. It's awesome.
Wow, that's crazy.
Awesome.
So that is why the grape prices went up during COVID.
Exactly, because people were bringing up them Samsung grapes.
We finally solved the mystery. I've been thinking about that. That's been my Roman Empire for 4 years now. Why did the grape prices go up during COVID? Thank you for solving that mystery.
Yeah, that's what we do, man. Breaking news on Stay Introverted Podcast.
Cracking cold cases one at a time.
One at a time.
Oh my God. So I want to talk about your RV. Tell us all about it. Like I just saw that on Threads and I need to know all the things.
Yeah. Well, I purchased an RV. It's technically called a fifth wheel. And so it means that like there's a room like above where the fifth wheel would go, I guess. And it's 36 feet long and, it's a 2007. So it's older, but it's got really good bones. There is one issue. I just got it last week and I just started working on it this past weekend and I spent 30 hours this weekend, like, no joke, 30 hours straight because I'm like a workhorse and I get started and I can't stop. Like I must finish the goal. I'm that person. Like I don't pee, I don't drink, I don't eat. Like I just work until my body like gives out and is like, we need to be hydrated, please.
Yeah.
And so I painted. I found one little issue, like a wall. There used to be a leak and it was fixed, but there's like some rotted wood. Like it's not mildew or mold, but there's like a wall that I'm gonna have to fix eventually. Like it's livable right now. And I'm repainting and I'm decorating, and it's the first place that I've ever had that's my own.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm going through a separation and divorce. And so I needed to find a place to live that was in a good price range. And I got this harebrained idea to live in an RV for like 2 years on campsites. And then also do some traveling with it this next summer, when I'm not in school, with my kids, and just also eventually I'd like for it to be kind of two-pronged. I'd like to do some traveling in it and do like traveling retreats and have a place to stay when I'm doing the retreats for my coaching business.
Wow.
And then eventually I'd like to buy a little bit of land and put the RV on there, build a tiny house, and then my kids can live in the RV as they get a little bit older, instead of go pay, all this money for rent, like just live in the RV for a year or two, save your money when you got your job, to give them a little bit of a head start in life. So that's my big hairy plan. And
Nice.
It started this past week, and it's been really fun and exciting and a lot of work, and I hurt a lot.
What brand of what's the brand?
That is awesome.
I'm sorry, what?
Like what brand of RV? Like Winnebago?
It's
Like what type of?
River Forest Cardinal.
Okay.
Is what it's called. And it's pretty,
Nice.
It's pretty big. But yeah, it's got like a bunkhouse room. So it has 2 bunks, and it's like an actual room. It has a door and everything. And It has like a little door with a toilet. So it's like a bathroom with a bathroom and sink, no shower in there for my boys. And then there's like a living room, kitchen area. It's got 3 different pullouts. So like the bedroom pulls out for the boys, the living room pulls out, and then there's a master bedroom that has the shower and the sink, and then a closet for the toilet, and then like a king size bed. And I mean, it's huge.
That's
It's
awesome.
all mine. It's the first thing I've ever owned that's been in my name, that I did all by myself. I'm 43, you guys, and I did it all by myself. And it's just part
That's
of the
awesome.
becoming and growing and changing metamorphosis of that I've kind of had over the last few years. Yeah. So
That's
it's really cool.
awesome. That's like so bold. Like I haven't heard of somebody doing this, and I think it's so bad. Like, wow.
Yeah.
This is
Well,
so
I'm a
cool.
bold living coach, so I gotta do bold things. So.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that.
Oh, that's badass.
Where are you thinking of traveling first? Like, what's like where? Like, if you could close your eyes and just go anywhere today in the RV, where would you go?
The Grand Canyon definitely is on my list.
Oh.
And out west, like I really want to go to Seattle, that whole area, the Pacific Northwest area, Oregon. That is my ultimate goal, to maybe do that this next summer. If not this next summer, the summer afterwards. But yeah, I have to buy a truck still. So I have to buy like an F-250 or at least to pull this thing. It's massive. So that's why I'm not really going to be doing traveling until the summer, because I still have to buy a truck. And I need a little bit to save. And, I just spent all my money on an RV. So, got to do it in spurts.
So I have a question. Like, where is the line between an RV and just like a straight bus? Because I see some of these RVs. I fell in like a TikTok rabbit hole, and it got me. Like, just all these RVs, and some of these things are nice, but I'm like, that's a bus. Like it's like it's 45 feet long, with like a grand bedroom, king size bed, 2 bathrooms, and like the sides come out like this for another like 3 feet. Like that, it's a bus, my guy. Like this,
it's totally a bus. When I first started looking, I really thought I wanted to buy something new, like because I wanted, to have the warranties and all that kind of stuff. But everything that was in my price range that was new, and I really didn't want to finance it out to the wazoo, was like literally like a little tiny bed and no toilet and a sink, and like it was nothing. I mean, mine has like a washer dryer hookup and a closet.
Nice.
Like Like it's
I
like
don't
an
even have that in my
apartment.
apartment.
It's literally like an apartment. It's huge.
You need an RV, Steph. Hey, man.
Yeah, I'm telling
in.
you, it's so much
Some
fun.
of these
If I could
RVs
do it
are
over,
awesome.
I would totally do that when I was younger. I think it would be so much
That's
fun before I had
awesome.
kids. It would be great.
Yeah, some of these new RVs, you're right. They are just very, very expensive, and I guess there's a market for it, but some of them have like the dryer, washer hookup, dishwasher,
Right.
2 or 3 flat screen on the outside of the thing, an awning.
Yep.
I've seen one with like maybe like a little loft, whatever, like over the driver. I think on a different episode, this couple, they retired. I think they spent about $1.2 million on an RV, and it was very beautiful RV, but a big chunk of that was because they wanted to have an elevator for their cats. So, so they have this.
We're giving Brianna ideas.
Oh yeah, of course.
I have to have an elevator.
There's basically this bus that they got, and I guess in the storage area, there's a little elevator for the cats, and it just goes up and down, and then it goes up. I guess you're in the kitchen area, and they just go up and get some food. Yeah, it's awesome. I'm not gonna lie. If I had a couple $1 million to spend, I'd probably get something like that. But yeah, I don't.
The house on wheels. It's going to be such an adventure. And I think, there are some really nice ones, like people who I'm learning about, living full time in an RV, what that really means. I went from a 2,100 square foot home that we owned into this. And it's just, in between there, I've lived with a friend, but I'm going, into this, and it's just like, oh my gosh, this is insane. Like all the things I have to think of, and like water and, electricity hookup, and how do I get Wi-Fi? Because, I can't live without Wi-Fi. Like, so all these things that you have to think of, and, and during the winter, how am I going to heat it? So I'm looking at little electric fireplaces, because if I go to a campsite, then the electricity is included, and then I don't have to pay for propane. So it's just like it's a different way of thinking, very minimalist thinking. That part I'm really enjoying. And I'm starting with all new stuff. And so I'm just being very minimalist with it. Things I only need. I've just had such a awakening and change in my life over the last few years. So, if I would have done this podcast years ago, I would have been like, living in an RV. Oh, hell no. Like, I'm not doing that. I want a bigger house with more land and, like all the things. But I've just had such a change in my life, and it's exciting. It's really exciting. And like you said, Steph, it's very bold and different, and it's not the norm, and I'm okay with that. So
that's what makes it awesome. Like that's freaking cool.
Gonna be fun. And there's going to be challenges, and that's the thing. It's like I'm going into it with eyes wide open. There are lots of challenges, and just there are things that I'm really afraid of. I'm afraid of being in an RV by myself.
Yeah.
Forest, like what? This is really intimidating for. I've never been alone like that. And pulling the slides out by myself and making sure it's level and like all those things. I'm sure I can get help, but it's really up to me. For the first time in my life, it's all up to me. And I have to care for this and like make sure the roof is good and all the maintenance to it. And it's very intimidating in some ways. But most of my life, and especially my later adult life, I've just been learning to do things afraid. Like that's what courage is. It's that we just do it afraid. It doesn't mean that we're not afraid. It just we just still do it afraid. And that's what grows us and changes us. So
that's so cool. Yeah. What is like your support system think of this? Like your friends, family, everyone?
My support system has changed quite a bit because of the circumstances of why I'm doing this, doing separation divorce. My very close friend, my best friend, she is very supportive and her family's very supportive, and they're just like, this is crazy, but this is so you. Like, I could see you doing this because that's you. You're bold. You live out loud. Like, this is you. So they're very supportive with it. They're a little nervous, for me because it's a big change. My family, my parents are scared.
Yeah.
Who are you? Like, what are you doing? Like,
What do you mean?
yeah. So yeah, it's I have a good support system, which is great.
Okay, good.
But yeah, people are just kind of questioning it, like, what is she doing? So
there, you know what? In 2 years' time, when you were driving around the Pacific Northwest in your RV, they're all going to be like, "We should have done that too."
right,
Pretty much.
Exactly. And that's part of my coaching is just literally living out loud. That's, I do bold living authentically, living intentionally. That's like the whole premises of what I coach people to do things afraid. And so I think the best way to coach people and to like teach people is to do it yourself. So this exercise is just me living what I teach, living what I'm telling other people to do. I would be inauthentic and disingenuous to not do something that is, bold. And being bold is not about doing something stupid. It's about taking a risk, but taking a measured risk and knowing all the information as much as you can, and making an informed decision. So living boldly.
Are you documenting this journey in any way?
Yeah, I mean, I do on Threads. So if people follow me on Threads, it's definitely been a documented journey. It's been, I've been on Threads since November. And so like really started talking about this whole journey probably like January, February, the changes going on. And yeah, so if you want to follow me on Threads, you can kind of see it as it unfolds. And come along for the ride. It's going to be crazy.
Pun intended. I love that. You're actually making me think, for some reason, what keeps coming up in my head as you're talking is a lot of friends of mine just went to Burning Man in Nevada. Yeah. It's in Nevada, right?
I think so, yeah. That sounds right.
Yeah. Would you ever do that with the RV?
I would love to do something like that.
I could totally see it for you.
Yes. I see. That's the thing is like, I had this switch in the last like 5 years in my life. I started this very slow shift from material things to experiences. And I've always kind of been that way for my kids. Like for Christmas, we never really got them a lot. It was more about experiences. But I never really did that for myself. And it wasn't like I really wanted like material things. It's just now I'm just really not doing the material things and I'm really trying to live the experiences in my life. Something happens, I think, when you hit 40, especially where you kind of look back and you're like, what am I doing with my life? Like, what is happening? Like, why am I doing this? Does this bring me joy? Or is this something that is draining me? And that's kind of where I was a few years ago, where I've talked about this before on Threads and on my socials about, I went through major burnout. About a year and a half, 2 years ago, where I had like severe adrenal fatigue and I hit a wall. I have 3 kids. My oldest is now 18, a 13-year-old and a 7-year-old. And I hit a wall, with just some stuff that was going on in my marriage and stuff that's going on in my life. And I stopped, like I burned out. And so I had to recover from that physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And as I was recovering from that, I just really reevaluated my life and like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this thing? Like, does it bring me joy or is it hurting me and hurting those around me? And it just made me reevaluate a lot of things. And, some people might call it a midlife crisis. Some people call it an awakening. But I just went through this major shift in my life and I've just been embracing it. Because what else are you going to do? You either embrace it or you ignore it. You can't live in that middle when it comes to things like this. Because it's just the pendulum swings. It's really hard to like maintain it. So yeah.
Absolutely. I feel like once you embrace it too, it starts to like not feel as heavy.
Yeah, completely.
Like you can move through it.
Well, and I think, a lot of the things that I coach my clients about authenticity, and I talk a lot about this on Threads as well, is authenticity, even though like sometimes we have to risk and do things a little like we're scared and put ourselves in a vulnerable place, right? We're being vulnerable and sharing a part of our life boldly. authenticity, though, when we do that, actually gives us more freedom because we're not so worried about other people's perspectives of us, and we're not worried about their perceptions about us. When we're truly authentic, we don't have to think about, well, what did I say to that person? And I need to make sure that I'm saying the right thing or doing the right thing or wearing this mask here and wearing that mask there. Like, we can just truly be ourselves, and then there's no question of who we are. You know, we can live boldly. We can live out loud. We can be authentic and intentional with our lives because we don't have to worry about everybody else's perceptions of us. And that's true freedom. And that's lifts that weight off of us so that we don't have to live up to somebody else's standards or expectations. So
I love that.
Nice.
I love that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Again, tell us a little bit, I guess, so what, I guess, type of coaching do you do, I guess, if you had to describe it?
Yeah. So I do one-on-one coaching where I meet with a client and we talk about goals that they have or like an area where they might be struggling and they just need some guidance. A lot of times it's accountability, especially with coaching. And what I love about coaching is that it moves someone forward. So there's a big difference between like coaching and therapy or counseling, where it's more coaching. Coaching is the external work. It's all the work you've done internally with your therapist and your counselor, and you bring it out to the outside and you actually move forward with your life. So what I call myself is a bold living coach. So a lot of times I meet with women specifically who are going through a lot of life changes and they just don't know what to do or where to go or, you know, how to live out loud because they've lived their lives inside of themselves and quietly and just living afraid. And so I teach them how to risk and how to be vulnerable in a safe and secure way, and to live boldly as themselves authentically. And it's the one-on-one, a lot of one-on-one. I actually am running, I do about 6 weeks at a time, a bold living group, which is a free group that I do. And I have 7 women in the group. We're on week 3 today. We actually meet right after we're doing this. We do on Zoom, and I'm walking them through what it means to live boldly. What does that mean? What does that look? And it looks so differently for each one of us. So I do one-on-one coaching, I do group coaching, and what I'm really trying to do is to do retreats, like do basically like all the different workshops that I have for living boldly. And, I do a talk every morning called Thoughts from the Car, and it's literally like off the cuff stuff of everything I'm thinking about on the way to work. And then I just record myself talking about it as if I were doing a workshop or like a class. And, so all of those are workshops. I've turned them into workshops rather. And I want to do retreats for these. I work mostly with women, but I do work with some men as well, because men need to be bold as well. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing now. And that I'm hoping to do like the retreats, you know, here in the future. So.
Nice.
I could see you totally hosting a retreat. Like I've been to one and I like it's all about the facilitator, the host. And I feel like you have like the similar energy. So you're going to kill it with the retreat.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I feel like that's the next step.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's so fun.
I'm still stuck on this RV. I love that. Like that.
You can go back there.
You guys.
I'm just stuck
but
on
I have
this.
pictures you can post, you can put it in the video,
Yeah.
you know, I'll send you some.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Do you think you will ever, like, I guess, I don't know if it's a graduation or evolution, but like get like a natural, like mobile home? Not an RV, but like, I guess one at your trail.
Like a trailer?
Trailer, yeah, basically a trailer.
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. Like I said, my ultimate goal I'll have like a 2 to 3 year plan, because by doing the RV thing, I'm saving money instead of paying rent. So I only have to pay like the camp fee, which is a little more expensive because that's a very popular thing now than what I was originally planning. But I'm still going to be saving money. My goal is to buy a little bit of land, like maybe an acre of land, out towards like my kids' school, a little bit closer to Nashville. And then put a tiny house on it, and then put the RV on it, and maybe build like a couple tiny homes, maybe get rid of the RV eventually, or just use it for retreats or, whatever, and put little tiny homes on it for kids. Yeah.
Yeah. So, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. Are there like only certain places that you can park it?
For an RV?
Yeah.
So as long as I could really park it anywhere as long as I have permission to be there. So I could go off what they call off grid, because I have propane tanks and, I can get a generator, so I could have electricity. The only thing I don't have is water, but there's like this huge tank underneath it that you can fill with water. And then when the water runs out, obviously, then you would have to refill the tank. And then you just have to dump your sewer. Gray water and black water is what they call it. Black water is your toilet water, and gray water is like sink and shower water. And it goes into separate tanks. And then, so you could live off grid. Like if I just had a piece of land, I could do that. But the nice thing about campsites is they have like electricity hookup, water hookup. A lot of them have Wi-Fi. So, and that's included. Right. Like I said, gotta have the Wi-Fi,
Absolutely.
Life is based on that, it seems like.
Yeah.
So I could, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a special place that you have to go to like dispose of like the sewage and stuff?
Yeah, so a lot of the campsites, they'll have like what's called like a full hookup, and they'll have like the sewer where you just there's like this hose that you have to put in, like a drain. But then some of them have what's called a dump station, where you have to actually like move the RV to go to the dump station and dump out your tank like once a week or something like that.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, you don't want to be like a Dave Matthews Band and just dump your stuff on a bridge.
That would be awesome.
Wait, what happened with that?
So I think it was the Dave Matthews Band. This is the tour bus, not the RV, but they were traveling, and the bus happened to be stopped over like a bridge or overpass, and someone on the bus thought it would be the opportune time to clear out the tank. Unfortunately, below said overpass was a body of water, which makes sense. I just dump it into the water. Unfortunately, they happened to dump it as a boat was coming under the bridge. And
it's not funny, but what?
So people were surprised because they thought it was raining, but it really wasn't raining.
It was just Dave Matthews dumped.
Yeah. So
wow.
As you
I
can
like an environmentally like friendly band. I guess not.
No, and as you can imagine, there was a lot of emotions and lawsuits. Just one, but yeah, I'm happy that that's always kind of been in my mind that do these vehicles actually have a designated place where they kind of have to evacuate these things. I just can't imagine that it's like that is the way people do things. They just find an overpass, press a button, and we're good.
Definitely not. No eject mode.
No eject.
Oh my god. I have so many questions about this. I'm gonna go on a Google rabbit hole later.
That's how I started.
Yeah.
Do it on TikTok. They have really nice ones.
I don't have TikTok.
Okay, get on TikTok and then go and because it's not an RV, but apparently the algorithm got me, so now every other video is of this thing called a Toyota Coaster, which is like a little mini bus.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
okay.
Like if I was ever like an NBA player, I would get this thing because I would just take this and have them drive it to the game because it seats 8 people. But the seats in the back recline. There's a little table there, a little cooler. Someone got a bathroom. It's awesome. So I'm just in this RV rabbit hole that I can't get out of, and everything's like $1 million. But I like it.
I did not spend $1 million mine.
I feel like RVs are like
the high end bubble.
I kind of feel like RVs are like the private jet for like regular people.
Maybe.
I kind of want one.
Maybe.
And that is the title of the episode. RVs are like RVs for the private jets for regular people.
For the rest of us.
Yeah. For the 99%. The private jets are for the 1%. The 99% can do the RV. I want one now.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, I'm going to be living in an RV next to you in Nashville, Brianna.
I know. I was just I was like, next month, that's going to be living in Nashville, and then we're going to start a trend. That's what we're going to do.
Oh my God, I love it.
If you do stuff, if you get one, Steph, make sure you get an elevator for Noki and Meatball. You gotta do that.
Oh yeah, they need one. Definitely.
It might set you back by $50,000, but it'll be worth it. You know,
it'll be worth it. Yeah, I can't have an RV without my dogs for sure.
Well, that's what I'm about it. Is that you can take your dogs wherever you go. Like, because, sometimes when you stay in a hotel, like, there's the pet fee, or certain hotels will let you. And so you can have your dogs with you wherever you go now.
Oh, okay. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be like an RV influencer.
Maybe I should just sell RVs. Who needs coaching? I'm going to sell RVs. What do you think?
Not even sell RVs, but just tell people on living the RV life.
Exactly.
Like,
there we go.
Pair up with all the brands that you use. Like, you got this.
We're laughing, but like that's real. Like I think there's like at least one or two creators that actually built their platform around living in RVs.
Yeah,
they just document the film, everything. Like, this is us cleaning out the sewage tank. This is us going to Walmart. This is us. I think one creator actually took us through the process, kind of how you went, where they actually bought the RV, gutted it, renovated it, added everything, painted it, and so I mean, you could be the next RV influencer, like Steph said.
I mean, everybody's got dreams and goals, so you never know.
You never know. I love it. Oh my goodness. Remind me when you move in to the RV.
I'm hoping October 1st. So I'm on a waiting list.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm on a waiting list for a permanent or long-term campsite that I want to stay at. That's really close to where my kids are. And then the kids can come stay with me, because right now I'm just staying with a friend. I've been staying with them for about 5 months. And so it's time for me to leave the little nest that they've created for me and have like my own space again, and be able to, spend more time with the kids. And so I'm hoping October 1st that a space will come available.
Nice.
I'm really, really
fingers crossed. Yeah.
How do the kids feel about that? Are they excited about the RV?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. My oldest won't be living with me because he's 18 and doing his school thing and whatnot. But my 13-year-old, my 7-year-old are ecstatic. They're so excited. Nice. They have been helping me, get it ready, and like, they're really excited about it. And that makes me more excited, because it is such a change, and not sure, because there's been a lot of change and transition in their life, obviously. And so I wasn't quite sure if they were going to be okay with this, but they're excited. And like today, that's what I was doing at Walmart. I had to buy pillows for them so that they have a place to sleep. And, like my cart was totally the Walmart cart. Like, it was overflowing. It was crazy. It really was. I was a cliche. But like that. They're excited about it. So I'm excited about it.
Awesome.
That's awesome. They're like, our mom is a badass. So
yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's like, when you're a kid, there's something awesome about your home being able to move.
Yeah.
It's like, I got a home and a car. What you got? my home was a car. I ain't got to leave my house. I just pull up to the school. What up?
Yeah.
That's how we think when we're kids.
Yes, totally. That's absolutely true. The only thing they're not so sure about is my middle kid. He's 13. He's like, Mom, how am I going to play my video games? And I'm like, you're not. You're going to go outside in the trees and the grass and sit, by the fire, and you're going to be like a real boy and not, this video game boy all the time. So that's the only thing where he's like, what about my video games? Like, you can have video games at Dad's, not at Mom's. So
yeah. Or like do they still have PlayStation Portable, or am I like living under a rock? I don't know.
Well, if they have I don't know if they still make PSPs, but there's no shortage of handheld video games.
I mean, I'm sure they'll figure something out.
Like, it'll be either handheld or just, if they get a, laptop, use a Wi-Fi,
right.
to play games. That can probably be even more of a hassle because now they're using up all the Wi-Fi to play these games.
Yeah.
But there's no shortage of ways to play games.
Yes.
But he's going to have to come up with that on his own. That's not you're not going to.
It's all about creativity. Like, use your creative brain and figure it out if it's not important to you.
Exactly. I love that. So Brianna, before we let you go, is there any last thoughts that you want to share with our community about just, living boldly, living in an RV, living in Tennessee, anything?
I think, what did it say?
That rhymed.
Oh, it did. Yes. Good job.
Yeah.
I think really, living boldly it's the Introverted Podcast, right? Living introverted. So I think that sometimes when we think of boldness, we think of loud. We think of, me, like I'm loud and I'm out there and I'm like all this energy, right? Mm-hmm. And that's not necessarily what bold living is. I'm an ambivert, so I go both ways. It depends on, as I grow older, I'm a little more introverted. I really enjoy that. And as I'm becoming more introverted, I'm becoming more bold. And I think the reason for that is because I'm really sitting with my thoughts and allowing that to be energized in that way. Whereas before, when I was younger, I was probably a little more extroverted and I needed more people. But I could be bold by myself. Whereas before it was more, I was worried about perception and things like that. Yeah. So boldness is not about being loud or brash necessarily. It's about living your life in a way that's your life and not worrying about other people's perceptions. It's about living courageously. It's about taking measured risks, and knowing the consequences of those risks, being aware, so it's not about just being willy-nilly. Oh, I'm going to go do something stupid. It's about making a plan that maybe feels a little scary and doing it scared, and being eyes wide open, and through that, you're living authentically. So you can live quiet. You can be introverted person. I mean, honestly, RV living is going to be great for this ambivert when those times when I really want to be introverted because nobody going to bother me. I'm going to be in the trees, reading my books, and nobody's going to bother me. It's just, so it's what you make of it. I think oftentimes boldness is you just being you, authentically yourself. That's what true boldness is. I mean, it's going to look differently for everybody.
I love the way that you just described that. I have to chill.
I do too, and I'm letting you know right now. I'm going to steal that and make content out of it. I will credit you. Don't worry.
Awesome! I love it.
I'm all about giving people credit.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's awesome. Yeah. Wow. So where can the people find you if they want to follow your RV journey, read your books, which we didn't get to talk about?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that on our Instagram live.
Yep.
Where can people find you? And what do you got going on right now?
People can find me I'm on all the social platforms in one form or another of Brianna L. George, Brianna L. George. One of those you'll find me. I'm on Threads, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. My YouTube channel are all my thoughts from the car videos, which they're pragmatic discussions about being aware and different emotional health related issues with relationships and how to deal with those issues. They can find my books on Amazon. They are guided journals, guided experiences dealing with anger, grief, anxiety, burnout, and there's one more. Self-care. And so, so you can find me there. And then you can always find me at my website at briannalgeorge.com. So I'm a little bit of everywhere.
Nice.
We'll link all of the things. And we'll definitely try to figure out how to add a picture in the show notes.
Yeah.
Of the RV, awesome. If you could send that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think our community is going to be super interested in this. So anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. This was Brianna George. And this was the Stay Introverted Podcast. So if you loved this episode, be sure to rate it, review it, share it with a friend, and stay tuned for next week's episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.